You're listening to the Franchise Freedom Podcast with Giuseppe Grammatico.
Okay, and welcome to the Franchise Freedom Podcast. I'm your host, Giuseppe Grammatico, your franchise guide, and wanted to thank everyone for joining us today. We have a very special guest, good friend, New Jersey native, Bob McQuillan. Bob, welcome to the show.
Glad to be here, Giuseppe. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, I'm excited. I know we've been planning on getting this going and looking forward to having you talk about Body 20 and all your experiences. But before that, I always like to read a quick little bio. I have every guest send me a quick bio, and by far, I'm 112th episode, I believe. Best bio yet. So I'm actually, a lot of times I don't even read the bio, but this one I'm just going to make a point to read. So here we go. 112 episodes. So the challenge, who could beat this one? This is, well, I'll just read it. Franchise sales guy, humble, not smart, not great looking. Sometimes has a good sense of humor. We shall see. Will work for wine and great steaks. Embarrasses his daughters constantly. Wife needs a break from him every 2 weeks. Other than that, what can I say? She won the husband lottery. By far, hands down, best buy. So,
all accurate. My daughters and wife would attest.
So we'll get them on the next. Actually, we should have just invited them on the show. But
yeah.
So compliments on the bio. So thanks for that and the laugh. I needed that today.
You bet.
Give us a little bit about who Bob is, and as I mentioned, a lot of people listening in, first time or looking to be first time business owners. So tell us who you are, and how did you get into Body 20?
Sure. So, well, first of all, again, thanks for having me on, and appreciate. I'm glad I'm number one out of 112. That's I'm going to put that on my resume now.
There you go. Right.
The way I got to Body 20 and really who I am is I've been in this franchising business for 23 years. Before that, I actually was in the corporate world, right? So like a lot of your clients or candidates, Giuseppe, I worked for Cisco Systems. I worked for a company called US Surgical, which was a division of Tyco Healthcare. Enormous corporations with great training programs and phenomenal support. So I learned a lot from them. My ability to get into business was one, it was afforded financially by those companies, number one. Number two, they basically equipped me or armed me with a set of skill sets that I could have never developed on my own. And I thought, boy, if I ever go into business, I'll be really well equipped because of the companies that I worked for. And then I was with a tanning salon company for 7 years. Whatever I've done, Giuseppe, and you and I are friends, and you know this about me. Whatever I've done, whatever company I've represented in franchising, I want to own it. I want to own, if I can't own part of the franchisor, which I do. I'm lucky to have been able to become partners with my partners today at Body 20, but I also own it at the street level. So with Hollywood Tans, we owned a number of tanning salons. At Hand and Stone, we owned 3 massage and facial spas with Hand and Stone. And then I retired back tried to retire in 2020. I was a miserable failure at it, and I probably would not be married today if I really made a great attempt at retirement. And then I found Body 20. And then just to kind of piggyback on my history and what I've done in the past, myself and a partner are starting with 6 locations right now in the Philadelphia / New Jersey, Southern New Jersey markets. So really proud of that. The way I found this business was actually a colleague of yours that had asked me to evaluate it. Trent Halverson said, Bob, I'm looking at this company. You've been a membership guy in the health and wellness business. Take a look at it for me, dissect it. Well, I started looking at this business, Giuseppe, and I was just absolutely floored. And I just could not leave it alone, right? And I called Trent back after a month. I flew down to Boca Raton. I did the workout. I met with my current partners now. And then they were the owners at that time, and before I became a partner in the business. And I was just really overwhelmed. The automation, the tools, and I called Trent back, and a month later, I said, Trent, not only would I endorse it and say you should bring it into your inventory, but I'll launch it. He said, what do you mean? I said, I just bought part of Body 20. So anyway, it's been an amazing little over a year, and happy to kind of discuss that as we move forward.
Wow. So partner in the business and opening up multiple locations. So fair to say that you truly believe in the brand? Because you don't hear that often.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's one of those things. I call it a unicorn, right? It's one of those models that, because it's health and wellness, it's in a small footprint. You can run this as an executive model. It's extremely attractive to people, and the condensed time workout with the ability to cut fat and gain muscle was just a huge feather in the cap to the brand, and something I thought we could really run with as an organization.
So let's dive into Body 20. Exactly what Body 20 is. It's in, we talked about the health and fitness space, and kind of what that journey or what that growth has looked like coming out of COVID, where everyone is sick of working out at home, needs to get out. They were working out in their basements. That got kind of old. So talk to us about Body 20 and then kind of the resurgence of health and wellness.
Yeah, it's a great question because, during the pandemic, when everybody had to shut down, of course, we shut down. But what really attracted me to this and the resurgence of this model was my partners and just the intelligence and the way they went about revamping this company. This company was brought over by a different organization from a different country. And my current partner, one of my partners, Chris Pena, was really the U.S. founder. And he, along with my other current partners, Kerry and Greg Breitbart, they set out to basically deliver a fitness model in 1,500 square feet, which the United States have never seen before. The reason is it is EMS fitness. EMS stands for electromuscular stimulation. So what that means is we send, or the machine that you're attached to, you get into this suit. We call it body armor. The machine will send electronic impulses to your muscles. So to give you and your audience kind of an understanding of how this works, when you work out and lift weights, let's say you worked out for 90 minutes and you were doing a weight training session, you would, on average, a normal human being would contract their muscles approximately 1,500 times to lift those weights. In 20 minutes, this workout, with the Body 20 workout, will contract your muscles 36,000 times.
Wow.
It's hard to believe. It's basically a 4-hour strength training session in a 20-minute period. Mm. No one believes that until you get in that suit, you work out, then 2 days later, you feel like you spent 3 to 4 hours in a gym lifting weights. It is truly amazing. But the business model itself, it's about 1,400 to 1,600 square feet. We go into top end or high end shopping centers. We cater to the affluent, higher end individual or consumer. Right. 70% of our membership is female based, so they love it. I talk to the women that come into our studios all the time. The top reasons they do this: one, it's time, right? You only have to do this twice a week. So it's 20 minutes twice a week. And that's all the strength training you need. And people love that because it gives them back 4, 5, 6, 7 hours a week to their schedule. And who couldn't use that? So that, for those reasons, I really love this model. And it's membership based, so it's recurring revenue, which makes all the sense in the world to me based on my former experience.
And are you assigned a personal trainer? So you have the suit. So do you work? Is it a one-on-one kind of setup when you come into the gym?
Yeah. So in the gym, the studio is sectioned out into there's quadrants, right? So there's four different quadrants. And then if you came in to work out and I was your coach, we call it trainer or coach, we call them coaches. I would train you personally. So yes, you are with you're with a one-on-one coach that will take you through the workout, devise the settings based on your needs and what type of workouts we've been doing. We kind of let you pick and choose if you'd like to, but really it's based on your needs and wants and what you're trying to accomplish in your workout.
That is very interesting. I've looking forward to definitely trying it out one of these days because it's definitely caught my interest. Hence, I said, you know what, I need Bob on the show to talk to us more about it.
Sure.
I've actually, so I'm part of a group of other consultants and podcasters as well, and we talked about. Can you talk to us a little bit more about health benefits, because we've heard some success stories, and this isn't just about getting in and getting ripped or just cut, right, and just getting that back into shape, but there's been some additional health benefits. Can you talk to us a little bit about that?
I can, and I'll just tell you my personal experience with Body 20. I've been a guy that has, just since in college, I guess college moving forward, I've always been involved in some type of competition, right? I mean,
Right.
I boxed and played football in college. So I've gotten hit in the head a lot, Giuseppe. So if I forget something, don't blame me.
So that explains it.
There you go. It just all makes sense now, right? So, and then after college, I get into, just not too long ago, really, I'm always been like cycling and swimming and running and, trying to compete, play golf. So I stay very active. A handful of years ago, I was doing triathlons. And I stopped because I was having too much hip and back pain, right? I'm 57 now. I don't need to lift heavy weights. I don't want the load bearing on my joints. Right. Body 20 is incredible when it comes to building muscle. There's no load bearing on your joints. It's simply centrically focused on building muscle alone. It will not affect or harm ligaments and tendons. They wear out. As we age, right. We need muscle. We need to build muscle. Because one, it helps with your metabolic rate, right? You'll burn calories faster and longer if you build muscle. The other part of this is as we continue to age, you notice people like I used to be 6'1", I'm now 6'1.5", right? Because you start to slump, you spend a lot of time on the computer, right? We do these things, we sit in the car a lot. So to develop your skeletal structure and muscular structure, that's very important, especially people that are aging, right? They tend to fall because they're weaker because they can't build muscle or lift heavy weights. So for those reasons, it's amazing. My own personal story is I've had back pain for 30 years. And for some reason, I'm just one of those guys. I just have a bad lower back, whether was from too much pounding as a football player. I don't know. But I've had that issue. I did Body 20's workout one time. Mm-hmm. After that, I had no back pain. Now, I am not coming on here telling everyone that has back pain, you're not going to have it. So I was doing it about once a month because where I live, I don't have a Body 20 near me. So when I go in for discovery days once a month, I usually do the workout. Mm-hmm. And I stopped doing it 3.5 months ago. I said, I'm going to test this. If I stop doing it, will it come back? Well, sure enough, as God is my witness, I now have back pain again. I can't wait to get back to Houston next week to do the workout because it has alleviated one of the worst things in the quality of life for me that I've had for 30 years. It took that away, which is fantastic. Now I can't wait to take it away again.
Right. Because this is a suit. So when you look at, when you're working at a specific muscle, maybe you're only hitting one aspect or your bicep, maybe it's the inner bicep, the outer, but it sounds like since this is essentially you're going into this suit, it's working everything out. So it's you're literally working 100% of the muscles, which is almost impossible to do, given a specific workout.
You are. It's a full body workout. Yeah. There's story after story. And matter of fact, we have a campaign. We just hired a chief marketing officer that will be creating this campaign called DearBody20.com. Mm-hmm. And it's for people like the story I just told. There's hundreds of those. So these stories will be told through social media, certainly on our website, and different venues as well.
Wow, that's great. That's awesome. And is there any? So just to clarify, no weights in the gym, or is there weights in the gym, or is it just?
We do have weights, Giuseppe. Basically, most people don't use weights. You don't need to, okay. But if you want to build a little bit more bulk, a little more muscle, we'll let you do that. We're very safe. We're completely understanding the human body of the person that we're working out, what their limitations are. We go through the contraindications. We have them sign a waiver. We will not let you. There's certain things like a pacemaker, someone that's pregnant, someone that's under 18. There's about 7 or 8 different contraindications that we go through to make sure this is a safe environment for the member or the person coming in to try it for the first time.
Great. No, that was one question I had, and I'm glad you covered that. We're going to pause here really quick from a note from our sponsor, the SMB Podcast Network. We hope you're enjoying the show. This episode of Franchise Freedom is brought to you by the SMB Podcast Network.com. The network is a collection of podcasts and shows from around the internet, which focus on bringing you interviews with amazing guests who share actionable advice, ideas, and information for small and medium-sized business owners and entrepreneurs. Visit www.smbpodcastnetwork.com to find more great shows and easily subscribe to be notified of new episodes. It's a great way to discover quality content. If you discovered us today via the network, then I hope you're enjoying the show and will consider subscribing directly so you never miss any of our great episodes. Now back to the show. Okay, and we are back with Bob McQuillan from Body 20. Talk to us about, we talked about what Body 20 is. So a lot of people are like, all right, this is great, thinking about potentially investing in this business. Who is the right fit for this business? Maybe talk a little bit about the role of a franchise owner.
Sure. It kind of ranges across the board, but we see a lot of partnerships. We see a lot of husband-wife teams, whereas maybe one of the spouses has worked the entire time and one of them might have, helped raise the kids, but they're at a point in their lives where they've got a nest egg built up or a 401k, and they feel like they want to, and this is very, very common. Husbands and wives want to do something together. Like they've worked with separate companies. And that's been a big part of what we do as far as, creating roles for each of the owners. This is, as we mentioned, an executive model. 90% of our owners run it as an executive model where they put a manager or a general manager in place. That's the way that my partner and I plan to run our businesses. But we see basically people that have had corporate careers or multi-unit franchisees who either have sold their business or sold it and tried to retire but want to get back in the game. People that want to also, I've got a number of people that have been in business for years and they want to scale an organization. So they want to buy 3, 4, 5, 10 territories. We've sold as many as 10 territories before. So that's something that's very, very interesting to us. So people that have money, people that are in fitness, people that are like, we always talk about with our membership, we want to attract fitness fanatics. Well, it kind of goes hand in hand that the owners or franchisees are fitness fanatics as well. For us, we look for the top 20% in people in health and wellness that spend money, right? That group will spend on average $1,200 to $1,300 a month. They'll belong from anywhere from 1 to 4 different gyms, studios they could use. And this is a complement, right? Body 20 is a complement for every other workout, whether it's strength, cardio, flexibility, health and wellness like massage. This is a great thing to add to your regimen. So it's kind of across the board, but those are the major kind of focus that we have as far as a potential candidate or profile.
And what, some of that is going to be running it. We talked about the executive semi-absentee model. What is their role? So you have that general manager in place. So what is the actual role of the franchisee?
Great question. And I tell everyone when you get into franchising, it's hard, right? It's not like, I did my corporate career for 20 years. Now I'm going to open up a business because I've been successful. I'm just going to put a manager in it and it's going to churn money out the back end of this business, right? So, but it's hard work. So you need to be the face of your franchise and create your culture. That's the major thing. Be the face of your franchise in the beginning. What I mean by that is, for instance, we have this pre-sale process. It's a 3-month process where we do event marketing, we do social, we advertise in social media, digital campaigns. That owner needs to develop the culture from day one. So it needs to motivate and manage the leadership team, starting with their manager or general manager and their salespeople and the trainers, et cetera. So be involved on the front end to develop that culture. After you've done that, now, and I'm looking at a 3 to 6 month period. After you've done that, you can certainly back off the business. And I'm not saying be there every day, all day long. But try and be there 4, 5, 6 days a week and show your face and understand your business from the ground up. People will respect that and they will follow that leadership. So that's the major thing. After that, you're basically focusing on the advertising, marketing, PR, setting up relationships with other companies to do co-marketing campaigns, and then managing and motivating your staff. Those are your top 5 things that you should look at from an ownership perspective.
I love that. Lots of opportunity. A lot of people listening in, they're not sure where to start. And that's where we try to help them kind of figure out, okay, what are some of the characteristics in a perfect world in the business? And I think some people get, maybe they are workout enthusiasts. They do work out at multiple gyms, never run a business, or maybe they don't have a lot of experience, maybe in personal training, but they are, love to work out daily. So I think they get intimidated. How is the franchisor going to help me? What support am I going to get? Marketing, I've never done marketing before. So, how would you explain it? Marketing just in and of itself, having that, you said 3 months prior to opening. So, having that stream of potential members coming in. Talk to us about that, because that seems to be that missing link when people think of a new business. How does it get launched? What is that franchisor really, doing to help support and help me grow?
Yeah, and that's the best thing about a business like this with Body 20. We've assembled some unbelievable people. I mean, our growth has been, and we'll talk about that later, I'm sure, but our growth has been, I would put us up against almost any franchise in the country right now as far as the growth is concerned. And quite frankly, one of the reasons for that is the support and marketing. Back to your specific point, from a marketing perspective, the greatest thing is an owner walks in and this game plan has been already written, right? It's follow the playbook. It's basically plug and play. If you do, when we show this in our item 19, Giuseppe, in our franchise disclosure document, we show if you are in compliance, meaning you've listened to us and done everything we've said, you are in the top echelon in our organization. And our studios do very well, as in evidence in the item 19. But if you do exactly what we say, we feel you have a great chance to succeed. And from a marketing perspective, the social media campaigns, digital email campaigns, direct mail, event marketing on a day-to-day basis. We'll have teams of people going out they might participate in a job fair or a health and wellness fair or a 5K run or a 10K run. We can get out there and let people put these armbands around their biceps and triceps, and they can do various exercises. And then all of a sudden, 2 days later, they're like, oh my God, my arms are sore. I did it for 2 minutes. Then they think, what if my entire body was in this suit? So this type of event marketing sparks just a groundswell of activity. And then what happens is, we offer them, if you sign up soon enough, quickly enough before the grand opening, you will be entitled to the founder's membership, which is a discounted rate, typically, just an example, $199 a month. That membership would typically be $350 a month. So there's a lot that we do there. And that's one of the major facets. Just follow the playbook and you'll be fine.
And that's it, right? What is the value proposition of a franchise? Someone said to me, and what is the number one reason for failure in a franchise? And I said, well, there may be a tie for a few, and maybe you just purchased the wrong franchise. Maybe you did it on your own and but not following the system. And I go, well, why would you buy a franchise and not follow the system? We're not recreating the wheel. This works.
Franchise, right?
It works. Like this is it. I've told people to look elsewhere, because if you have no plan on following the system, that's what you're buying. You're buying the infrastructure, the support, the training, the systems in place. And people look at me and they said, well, aren't you compensated when people buy franchises? And I said, yes, but you need to be a right fit. And the franchise companies will realize that if you're not willing to follow the system, there's really no reason, start your own fitness franchise or whatever business you're looking at. And anyway, I just find that kind of silly. But what has been the growth of, kind of talk to us about maybe where you are, the growth of Body 20. Obviously we can go to the website, but where can people expect to find a location?
Sure. Yeah. The website is Body20, BODY20.com. The growth of the organization. Now, I learned about Body 20 in 2021, in the spring of 2021. Did my research, ended up joining the company in July of 2021. So it's been a little over a year since I've been on board. With the help of the franchise organization and some unbelievable consultants there, we have had just unprecedented growth. We've sold approximately 125 franchises in the last 9 months alone, which kind of puts us in a rarefied air type of level, right? We see ourselves anywhere from a sales perspective, adding another 12 to 17, 18 franchise units, new territories a month. We have overhired for this growth. We know there's a mini tsunami coming, right? Right now we have 15 locations open. By the end of the year, we'll be close to 25 locations. And then next year we will open between 65 and 75 locations. So we'll be right around that 100 mark. As a matter of fact, that's kind of the goal by the end of 2023 to be at 100 units. By my estimate, basically based on what we've done so far, in 2.5 years, the country will be sold out for Body 20.
That's amazing. I actually, if I can add to that, I just read a stat. I cannot remember. I forget the website it was on, but less than, and I don't know if you've heard this as well, less than 5% of franchise companies hit the 100 franchisee or 100 location mark. I don't know how accurate that is. Does that sound right?
Yeah. I didn't think, I knew it was low. I didn't think it was that low, but it's so many people get talked into franchising, and a lot, some people aren't meant to be business owners.
Right.
Some people aren't meant to be franchisors. Some people aren't meant to be in a leadership position. Some people are. So many people get into the franchise, and then either, it's okay for them to have 30, 40, 50 units. But yeah, it is an astonishing statistic when you kind of try to wrap your head, like, is that really true? But getting to 100 units in anything, if it is a lot. It's like I said, business is hard work. So you gotta be really kind of prepared and ready to do it.
Right. And you need as you mentioned, you need the staff, the trainers, people to support, right, all these new franchisees. And what I hear too is that people will buy franchises but never open up all their locations. So what are you seeing as far as, and I know that obviously finding the right location and dealing with the landlords and things like that, there's going to be some variables there as far as lengths of time. But how quickly have you seen some of the locations opening?
Yeah, our opening process should be between 6 and 9 months from the date you sign your franchise agreement. Now, because of the environment and commercial real estate as it is today, we're seeing a lot of some markets in itself that are very tight and have limited limited space. And from a commercial real estate perspective, that could go a little bit longer. Or if it's new construction,
right,
we're kind of at the mercy of the contractors, right, to finish the project.
Right.
But it should be 6 to 9 months. And if when we approve a franchisee, all our tough work is done on the front end, right? Because my partners and I, we do every discovery day together. We want to be in front of the candidates. We take this very personally. There's people, usually 1 out of every 5 does not get through. Just because you have a checkbook and a pulse does not mean you become a Body 20 franchisee. We're pretty strict with that. So I think it's going to be sorry.
No, it's all good. This is it. I have a puppy as well. So
in here, it's game day weekend here at Notre Dame. So that's where I'm at right now.
I know, all good. No, that's what I love about the show. You never know what's going to happen. So that's cool. I have a puppy and 2 kids. I got 2 teenagers. We're good. At least they're at school, but when they get home, it's a different story. So
right.
No, that's awesome. I think being selective is huge, right? You want the right fit. It's not just it. To your point, I have a checkbook, and I think that's a common, not a common, but a great characteristic of some of the top brands. We talked about, maybe not today, but on previous shows, 4,000 franchise companies, 70 plus different industries, but not every brand, not every franchise is built the same. So you want that franchise company to be very selective and truly pick the best fit for their brand. So I applaud you for that, because I know other brands, not naming names, but they'll just say, "Hey, you ready to go? Let's move forward." So I applaud you guys for that.
Thank you.
What didn't we talk about with about Body 20? What didn't we covered a lot?
Yeah. No, we covered a lot. I think one of the things that, the thing that initially drew me to this is, and I know people's perception of the brand, because quite frankly, Giuseppe, when I saw it first, I thought 3 things. I thought it's hokey, it's a fad, and they're going to kill people, right? I mean, you're sending electronic impulses to someone's body, being an surgical representative, a medical rep. Years ago, I just completely went to, what if they have a pacemaker? I didn't know what I didn't know. And I think that's where a lot of people are today. The thing we didn't cover is this has been around for, 70, 80 years, from an electromuscular stimulation revolving around therapy or recovery, right? Basically, it's been around 30 to 40 years as in fitness. If most people have heard of Usain Bolt, the best sprinter that ever lived, trained with EMS Fitness. Real Madrid soccer team has trained with EMS Fitness. In this country of Germany alone, almost 15% of all fitness is EMS related. There's over 2,000 studios in the country of Germany alone. So I think that's what we didn't cover. It's just that this has been around for a long, long time. Mm-hmm. It was recently cleared by the FDA to be approved for fitness in the United States. That was in 2017. That's when we opened our first studio late in the year in 2017. And then we gained some momentum, or my partners did. And then the pandemic happened. And now we're back and stronger than ever and one of the fastest growing franchises in the country. So that would be the kind of one nugget I would kind of end with here during the conversation.
Yeah, that's great. And I like it. It's a very lean model from my understanding as well. So you have your trainers one-on-one, as you mentioned, broken up in quadrants. So it's not a business model where you need dozens and dozens of trainers. So right. I like the simplicity. It's a lean business overall, right? I mean, sure. It sounds like people are coming month after month, or they need to try it out first. So once they try it out, they notice, wow, this is really working. As you mentioned, I'm really sore after this.
Right.
Now this has been great. So I always like to, you're a Jersey guy, so I'll throw a second one in here. There was a recent interview with Danny DeVito in the Asbury Park Press. So I'm going to go with Taylor ham or pork roll.
I'm going pork roll.
All right, we're on the same page there. I guess it depends on where you fall in the state. Second one is, and I'll let you go. I know it's game weekend.
Yeah.
Interesting thing about yourself that the audience may want to know.
So we're doing a show here. We're doing a show. Denise, we're doing a show. Sorry, Giuseppe.
No problem.
It's getting crazy around here. So one thing most people don't know about me, is that kind of what we're going for here? Is that?
Yeah.
I flatlined when I was 18 years old. I was in a very bad car accident. No, it's good. I was a better person after it than I was before. But I was in a car accident and I saw the white light, like you hear people talk about on TV. And to me, it was like a very calm experience. Unfortunately, my parents were in the hospital room when I did this. So it wasn't a calm experience for them, me going through that. But it was, I wouldn't advise it because it's, to get there, it's probably not going to be a fun thing. But having been there and come back, I'll tell you, I think I was a better human being after it than I was before. So that's one thing most people probably wouldn't know about me.
Okay. Wow. And that's probably been one of the most, that's pretty amazing. So
right.
You definitely got me on those two questions. So it's going to be a tough one to beat. Well, listen, I know you got a lot going on there, and I really, really appreciate your time. Every time we talk, I personally learn something new about the brand. So for anyone listening in, has any interest in learning a little bit more, contact me. We'll get you in touch with Bob. Have that introductory call, learn more about the brand. Gain some potentially try it out. That's next on my list. I want to try it out. We're hopefully opening up soon in Southern New Jersey here. And again, thanks again for your time, and have an awesome weekend.
All right. You too, Giuseppe. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Bob.
All right. Take care.
Take care.
Thanks for tuning in. Whenever you're ready, here are 3 ways Giuseppe can help. 1. If you've ever considered owning a business of any kind, you owe it to yourself to get a copy of Giuseppe's book, Franchise Freedom. Download your free copy at ggthefranchiseguide.com/book. 2. Want to understand how successful executives make the transition from corporate to owning their own franchise? Join Giuseppe's next online presentation, Franchise Freedom: How to Escape the Corporate World and Have Financial and Time Freedom by Owning a Franchise, by going to ggthefranchiseguide.com/video. 3. Want to work with Giuseppe one-on-one to identify the right franchise opportunity for you, to navigate the process, and get plugged into experienced franchising advisors? Send him an email to gg@ggthefranchiseguide.com with one-on-one in the subject, and he'll send you all the details.